10 seconds remaining.
It is time for the first big fulcrum shift of the day. We started off with our finals over in Divine, but now we're going to put our eyes on the teams of Immortal, and we are going to have an elimination series as well. We're going to try to set the stage for tomorrow for the grand finals, and also today we are going to have another grand final. That's going to be for the region of NA, but now we need to turn our attention over to Alliance versus Nigma. And before we actually do get into the draft, you lovely gentlemen, Lacoste and Lizard, I want to ask you if there's anything in particular that you really want to see. I mean, last night we saw Alliance completely clutch it up against EG. They looked fantastic. They're going to ban out that IO to start things off. Is there anything you want to see from Alliance?
I want to see Alliance banning out the Arc Warden. I think you have two ways of entering this game, either banning out we completely or banning out that Arc Warden. They didn't ban out the Arc. And yeah, they leave it in. They could maybe snatch it. Venge is in as well. There we go.
This one's going fast. Thank you. Phoenix picked up, like GA just straight up, plays Phoenix or Rubik. I still don't believe that teams are not banning it against them. So this could possibly be, they open up with Venge on side of Alliance. Like hero combinations for Venge are with Arc Warden, Medusa, or
Drow.
TB, Drow Ranger.
Yeah. Drow probably the best, right?
Drow probably the best because multi-shot works inside the bubble. Other heroes need to get inside of it.
And the problem with that is, though, you're still picking a ranged hero versus Arc Warden. And that magnetic field, you can't multi-shot the towers. You can't buy MKB versus the towers. So it's still going to be very valuable. But if you're looking at Team Enigma, man, it's so easy to predict their first pick. They've literally picked out of the last, let's say, 15 games, 3 heroes, Vengeful, Rubik, and Phoenix. And yesterday they picked Arc Warden, and that's it. Yep. So you know what's coming, but you still have to ban out the Wisp and the Tiny because you don't want to play against that.
Exactly. And I think one of the things, too, that's really awesome when we do get into this situation is all of the sudden, as you know, obviously we were just looking at Divine. The second that we get back to Immortal, we get back to the last 4 teams standing, and really the craziest part of the tournament, some of the best Dota that we've seen, the top teams, instantly.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
What Storm is the best at the same time, man, you just picked one of the lowest win rate heroes with one of the most played games. He has over 40 games, by the way.
That's the thing. And in most of those games, I feel like everybody's saying, yeah, this is a good game for Storm.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you give Storm a good game. He's had plenty of opportunities to shine in this tournament, and we haven't seen it happen at all. Lacoste, what do you think the reason for that is? And then after that, I kind of want to know why.
I've seen so many Storm Spirit early on doing extremely well in the laning stage, clearing up the stacks, going almost godlike in the first 15 minutes and then just falling off. I think Hero in the mid game doesn't deal that much damage at all. Like, you know how to play against Storm Spirit, especially if that's first phase Storm Spirit. So there's going to be stuns, there's going to be silences. You're laughing about something, Lizard. Give me a number.
44 games, 27% win rate. Like, that's exactly what it is. He is 6th lowest win rate hero, but next to him are all heroes that have been played like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
This is ridiculously low, and stats, man, sometimes they lie, but not here, not when you have as many games.
Yeah, but the way that they're lying this time around, with obviously I didn't look at the numbers, I'm just hearing you say the numbers, but hey, I don't tend to look at the numbers. But the thing is when you actually do frame it like that, the way that the numbers are somewhat lying is by making him sound a little better than he actually is, because you don't have a big enough sample size for the other heroes, because they're incredibly niche picks off meta. And we've seen a lot of Storm. We haven't seen a lot of Storm winning. Will this be another Storm thundering on through with an L? Is he going to be able to get his bearings
and get his
and make that L some lightning?
I think if we all can expect what Nigma is going to pick in the first phase, pretty sure Alliance also did the prep, and sure, they did not ban Arc Warden in the last 4 games. They let Arc Warden through. They lost all 4 of those games. Maybe they just want to prove something. It's a first game of best of 3. You know, if they take out Arc Warden in the first game, I think that's a huge confidence boost for Alliance.
If you look at the bans from Alliance as well, these are all the heroes that are extremely good with the Arc Warden and also with the Phoenix Egg, the Treant, the Sand King, and these are also the heroes they have drafted before with the Arc Warden, literally. Queen of Pain is another one. Maybe that's something that Alliance might think about banning, because Alliance have went in a different way, different direction. Viper isn't banned out. Queen of Pain aren't banned out. Batrider isn't banned out as well. These are all heroes that Team Nigma did use to even first phase for Wii.
Yeah, and you keep putting that focus on him as well as one of those players that you really do want to be thinking about in the banning phase. But Alliance, they got to be feeling pretty darn good after last night. And I'm sure that they have had plenty of time to actually prep for what this match is going to look like. The Storm Spirit, definitely something that's going to be interesting. Okay, the draft's just going to be interesting altogether. How do you feel about this, the cost?
I love Chen. Someone say Chen. I love Chen. I think we did not see too much out of it. I believe Team Secret ran it. I believe Nigma ran it once, as far as I remember. This is the hero that, you know, keeps you alive. We've seen Puppy going for, you know, some extra tanky Chen. It's one of his best hero. He is the best Chen player in the world, tanking up mech, having a Vanguard at one point, Medallion. You know, depends what kind of a playstyle Alliance wants to have on Chen, how much farm does he get, but he's the one who, you know, secures you the lane in terms of having a better matchup because he can just recall you. It's a longer cooldown now, but still you can save a TP just from that.
I hate being the stats person, but now that I have them opened already, whatever, Chen is sitting on a 70% win rate. 70. That's quite all right. But only
out of how many games?
14 games, which, yeah, that's not really a big sample size, but still 70% is quite a lot. Mostly, though, because of tier 1 teams like to play Chen, or at least did like to. Now, when we see this Chen here, it's interesting, though, because usually Vengeful is your position 5, right? You don't really love Vengeful on 4. Now, this opens up their draft a little bit differently, because this Vengeful can be the offlane as well. Chen can be a 4, but that's not where he really excels at. Like, you really like both of these heroes as your position 5s.
When Alliance had 33 on the team, they ran Chen as
offlane
position
as well,
3. Yeah, something that they've been very successful with. I don't think that's a good idea here. I just feel that it could possibly be a core Venge. I don't mind it. I've seen some of the teams play it as an offlane. I've seen mid Venge. I've seen safe lane Venge. Having Storm Spirit in the team kind of locks it down. Maybe they're trying to bait Team Nigma into something with this earlier Storm Spirit pick, so everything's you know, opened up.
They're just playing. They're just playing on Alliance to pressure the map very early on with this high reach potential. You have Storm Spirit zipping in. You have Chen recalling people. You have Nature's Prophet popping in and out of lanes. I like where they're going. This reminds me of all the Alliance quite a lot. Meanwhile, on Team Nigma, we have an Undying, and we talked about this Chen, how he was played on offlane for Alliance. Recently, Mind Control played the offlane Undying as well, so that's sort of a small flex possibility as well for Team Nigma.
So my question is right now, you talk about the early pressure that Alliance is going to be able to get online. How do they actually manage to take that pressure and turn it into their win condition with what they have right now? Obviously,
strong lanes. These are the heroes with a lot of summons, something that Undying and Phoenix don't really deal with. And they want to pressure the towers, you know, get the control on side of Nigma's side of the map. I want to see anything with the silence, anything with a stun coming out from Nigma right now, because they don't have lockdown for Storm Spirit. None of these 3 heroes provide literally anything.
Okay, very, very important to keep in mind. So do you think, though, that focus of this game is going to be on Alliance's early game? Like, does this lineup with what they have right now DK is going to be locked in as well on the side of Team Nigma, but with what Alliance have right now, if they fall behind, if lanes don't go the way they want to, is it going to be a ship that you're just not able to turn around?
It's usually we do consider that always versus an Arc Warden, right? If you don't manage to close the game out, eventually this hero hits that incredible power spike in which you're unable to defeat him. However, I think you have Nature's Prophet, you have your Storm Spirit. you still do not have your true win condition on the side of Alliance. And if you draft accordingly, you can deal with the Arc Warden. One hero that's fell out of meta completely. Now the Team Nigma have banned out the Spectre. They're expecting the same thing. One hero that has fallen out of meta as well is PL. Maybe not as great versus DK, but he destroys Arc Warden when he hits that power spike. He's good versus the Tombstone. He can dispel the Fire Spirits as well in the laning stage. That wouldn't be too horrible. I'm just not sure if they'll play it or not.
Yeah, well, you know, PL, the Catman, has definitely not shined in this tournament at all. And when the stakes are as high as they are right now, Lacoste, you can't be kidding around.
No, for sure you can't, you know. All right, I love you, Rich. And could be possibly a good Juggernaut game. They have no abilities that go through a magic immunity. They can't stun him. We saw how effective that is in yesterday's games when they were playing against Egypt. So they
Good
still
call.
ban out Drow. Drow, as I mentioned, multi-shot works inside of the bubble. But they have good ways of protecting the egg with the bubble against the Tombstone.
So
Looking good. You know, they needed something with low cooldown stun. This is something that they can run in the off lane as a Dragon Knight, something that they can put on the mid lane. Alliance, still not sure where this one's going because they are banning out the Batrider. Also can be played at multiple roles. So they think it's mid. Okay.
yeah, they ban out the Void Spirits as well. That could be like these two last bans from there are mainly aimed at we. That's it. That's all they're doing. Now, if you're thinking about Alliance, their last pick, what could it be? It could be something like a Sven, Jug, like you mentioned, Morphling, perhaps, that haven't been banned out, that are still in the pool. And Team Nigma round it up with a Necro. All right, this is looking really, really solid from them. They have this team that's able to fight early on and defend towers for a really long time until Arc Warden comes online. I like the strategy that's behind this. Maybe they don't have a true playmaker, but you can itemize for that on Dragon Knight, get something like a Blink or Shadow Blade.
I think it's a Sven game. You need something that
Dispel
has
as
the
well,
spell.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the spell talent on Sven stun, level 15. Otherwise, I don't think they have enough damage to deal with the Necro. Picking Juggernaut into Necro never feels that good. Just by looking at these four heroes inside of Alliance, it just tells me this is Alliance's draft. Like, if you remove the names, I would pretty much know
Morphling.
who picked. Okay,
Yeah.
Morphling is the hero that also deals well with them. He can easily turn into Dragon Knight, turn into Necro.
The
That's
reason,
good.
yeah, the reason why Morphling is a little bit better here is he deals with all these structures a bit better versus the Undying's Tombstone. I think that's the idea, right? The Tombstone, the egg. He also has a built-in waveform, right, that you can get on top of Arc Warden. So you do have that reach as well. He does suffer a little bit more versus Necrophos, however, right?
Yeah,
It's not the greatest matchup.
That's something that usually we don't see. We see it the other way around, where Necro is picked against the Morphling. He loves to play on a low HP. There is a save in terms of like swap, mech, Hand of God, just trying to, you know, play with it, not get a kill and put the cooldown on the Reaper's side. But look at the sustain that Team Nigma has. They have Necro heal, naturally tanky hero Dragon Knight, you have Soul Rip,
Sunray as well.
Yeah, Tempest double. So there's going to be a lot of confusion. What Team Nigma is looking for is these drawn-out team fights where they can reset multiple times.
And the odds are going to be in favor of Team Nigma as well, but this isn't necessarily a story of the numbers. It's going to be exactly what the guys have started to illustrate. This is really going to be one about who can set the tempo. Is Team Nigma going to be able to get in these drawn-out situations? Are they going to be able to have the drawn-out team fights? Are we going to see a very aggressive start coming out from Alliance? Are they going to be able to take control of these lanes? Are they going to be able to snowball that into a win before Arc Warden comes online? I would love to talk about it more, but we are about to start one of the most hype matchups of the day. Let's jump on over to the casters.
你气不气？
Prepare for battle.
Lakad mo to!
Normally.
After eliminating evil geniuses, Alliance is now going to desecrate the corpse a little bit by taking the Storm Spirit and seeing if they can win the same number of games that evil geniuses did, which was just one, with a single game, which is now. They haven't played it before, and apparently they thought this was the time. 1-2. Storm Spirit. I can't, Jenkins. I can't. Like, why do people keep on, like, why do people be like, well, this zero's at 27% win rate. Let me just first.
Let's relax. Let's chill. Okay. I'm sure they have a plan. They second picked it. There's some bait happening here.
Yeah. It's the support Storm Spirit? Is that what you mean?
Maybe. Who knows? They've got there's something going on. It's not support Storm Spirit. But, there's something going on here.
That sounded like a better plan.
Where with this draft, the Storm is going to work, okay? They've got the pickoffs. They don't have the team fight. I think if they team fight into Nigma, it's looking really rough.
Yeah.
But they have fantastic pickoff and great laning.
It looks like they will lose every single 5-on-5 team fight to me.
I don't know how you can beat this lineup from Nigma in a team fight. You have to have some crazy item advantage.
Supernova, Tombstone.
Yeah. Dragon Knight
two big things out in front. A Dragon Knight, big old tanky hero with a stun out in front. Necrophos is around. He's in the area. And all the way in the back, there's an Arc Warden slamming into you. So that is something that, well, we need the Storm Spirit to have a good game because he is going to be the one trying to deal with that Arc Warden. And it all starts off in the laning phase, I suppose.
Great death ball. If they do want to have that Arc Warden just farming up. Solo Morphling. He's got a Chen, but Chen is indeed blocking the camp.
Yeah, I was a bit curious. Alliance, it looked like they really wanted to get the lane matchup that I'm not sure what lane matchup they wanted here, but they do have Chen and Nature's Prophet, so they should be able to freely get whatever lane matchup they want at the end of the day, right?
Chen and Nature's Prophet, yeah, I think.
I mean, you just teleport to the side lane, they follow you, you just TP back.
Pretty easy. I think both heroes will do fine too against either side lane, just slightly better, slightly favoring to have the Morphling versus the DK. It's just a free farm lane, guaranteed. You don't risk having that Necro +1, maybe do well in the lane. But I think the Morphling was a really good pick here.
Why is that?
Just doesn't care about any of the Nigma heroes. You can kill the structures that are put on the ground, magic damage to kill the Necrophos.